Yes, it is true. There are now bike lanes on North Lombard. The Oregon Department of Transportation recently wrapped up this big project, 16.5 million. They repaved, added a bunch of crossings. So it goes in the west from about Newman all the way down Lombard to the east as far as Delaware. As you can see here, it's a basic buffered bike lane, and there's no protection. I'm going to slow it down here so you can see how wide the lane is. Now, ODOT said there wasn't enough space for them to put protection. The travel lanes are 12 feet wide. That's a bit wider than they need to be. It looks like there's a lot of room there the way I see it, but that's what ODOT has said. So we are stuck with this buffered only, paint only, unprotected lane on Lombard. As you can see, it's also a freight route. And there's quite a bit of gravel, as you can see, in the bike lane. That's going to be a problem going forward if ODOT doesn't have regular maintenance intervals. One of the big interesting sections is this mixing zone at North Peninsular, where there's the green zebra and the Walgreens. Of course, the mixing zone you're familiar with from PBOT. It means that the other vehicles can go in there to turn into the biking space. Riding it feels pretty good. I mean, I definitely would not be riding this with this low of a heart rate before the bike lanes were in. So I want folks to know, I do think this is a big step for ODOT, and it is a good step of progress, even though it's unprotected. I love having the smooth pavement. I think chills everybody out and makes driving behavior a little better. Here I'm riding eastbound, by the way, from like Columbia Park area. I think that's Mox Crest Tavern on the left there. So it's just a basic 6-foot wide bike lane with a 1-foot wide buffer. And as I approach the busier intersection area with the mixing zone at Peninsular, you'll get a sense of like how that looks and works. So again, the bike lane leaves the curb and essentially has this zone of mixing where other road users, drivers and such can get in there to turn right. This is a common treatment PBOT uses, the idea being that it will reduce potential of right hook crashes. So here I am crossing over, I believe that is Greeley there. So crossing over Greeley, continuing east. Here's a different view looking back. You can see it feels okay. I'm a super confident rider, but I could see why some folks would still not choose to bike on here. I'd actually love to know if these bike lanes will get you and your family or your friends to be biking on Lombard now. So let me know in the comments what you think, if this is safe enough for you. And then wanted to give you a view heading eastbound. This is going eastbound toward the Walgreens. Here is right on my right. So I just passed Atlantic and now I'm coming up to Peninsular, showing you that mixing zone right by Green Zebra Grocery, and then how it transitions back to the buffered bike lane. In addition to the bike lanes, of course, you can see there's been a lot of other changes. ODOT has updated a bunch of signals and added some nice new crossings. I did run into one rider that agreed to talk to me. Let's hear what this guy thinks about it.
So the new bike lanes, they seem like a great idea in concept, but there's just like glass everywhere, like right in the median, right where you would be riding. And there's cars parked, and so you have to go into the street and the cars are not watching for you. And a bike lane with a car parked in it is pretty much not a bike lane because you have to go into the street.
And the other thing I wanted to share was what ODOT has done at Delaware. This is a really important crossing. There are elementary schools on either side of it. It's also been on Sunday Parkway's route, so this is an important route in the bike network. When you used to be going southbound here, you'd just trip the half signal that was there and you'd continue southbound. You'd press a big button. But now ODOT has changed that. Now ODOT says, and I asked them specifically, bike riders have to, quote, either act like a vehicle or a pedestrian by crossing over Delaware to get onto this new crosswalk, which has a big button activated wrapping flash beacon, which by the way wasn't turned on when I was there. And then to continue southbound, you have to cross back over Delaware on the other side to continue southbound. And either way, you've got to just jump through a gap now that there's no signals. But I'd love to know what you think. Are you going to ride it like this guy, or are you going to still avoid Lombard? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for riding along.